Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from whichever part of the world you're from. This is Kavita Ramchand from Life Success Coaching in Mauritius. Okay, so we continue the book reading of You Were Born Rich because you were born rich. You just need to become aware of how rich you are. All right. So I'm reading chapter 9 right now, and without further ado, let me get into it right away. If you've missed my previous sessions, please go back on my YouTube channel. All the videos are there, and if you cannot find some of them, let me know. I will definitely send it to you. All right. So now, Bob says, don't feel, please be advised, you need not feel regret because you have not fully utilized this great power in the past. You see, it's only in the late 19th century that people are now, thanks to science, scientific discoveries, especially in the field of physics and quantum physics, that people have now become aware of what spirituality had actually been saying for the longest time. We are actually existing in a very exciting period right now where science and spirituality are coming to terms with each other. It's like we are not separate. One is studying everything as God and one is studying everything as energy. Okay. So I studied this material both ways. And I can tell you for a fact that the only problem is that spirituality today is not really, people are not really buying into it because it has not, it's been stuck mostly to religion and it has not really evolved from there. And that is not making sense to a lot of people, right? So, anyway, each his own. But I have studied it as a scientist because I was looking for answers. I needed to know what is this life all about? What's the ultimate truth of life, right? So I I awakened to this truth of how potential we are as human beings, how powerful we are at age 42. And I've been helping my mother, who was then 69, understand the power that is within her. Okay, so let me continue reading. Uh, don't feel regret. That's what this sentence is saying. It doesn't matter. Age is just a number. And stop saying things about I'm becoming old and things like that. Because if you keep whatever you speak, you're gonna manifest. So you wanna understand that you are a powerful human being. And you want to in fact focus on, oh, what's my power? I didn't know all this time. None of us knew. And it's nobody's fault. It's this time in history that this knowledge is meant to come out and be spread all over the world because we need it today. We need it because we are going to leave a generation behind and we want to leave a very happy generation. At least as human beings, we have that responsibility, right? Okay, so now he says, for the truth is, there are very few people anywhere who understand the real truth concerning their own hidden resources. That is the very reason why so few people live dynamic, exciting lives, and so many people live confused, unproductive lives. So we want to understand here that these resources are hidden within you. You don't need to go and look for it anywhere else. It's right here, right now with you. And it lies in the power of understanding how your mind works. And we've all heard this. Your mind can be your best friend, your mind can be your worst enemy, right? How are you using your mind right now? How will you know if it's your enemy right now? Look at your results. Are they positive or are they negative? If they are negative, then you are using your mind in reverse. All right? And you can use the same mind in a very positive way if you just change the way you think. That's it. It all starts with positive thinking, but it's not just positive thinking. It's not just wishing and hoping. You have to actually walk the walk, I say. Walk the talk, walk the walk. You have to believe it. Until you don't believe it yourself that you can change your reality, it's not going to manifest. So that is the very reason why so few people live dynamic, exciting lives and so many people live confused, unproductive lives. I totally relate to that because I was at one time living a very dynamic, exciting life, and I reached a point in life where I started going backwards. You know, life was suddenly not making sense. I was going in reverse, and I was like, I'm supposed to be happier as I grow older because I had the most fantastic life. So why am I becoming sadder? Why am I becoming less happy? I didn't like that. I used to be a very happy, positive person. And I knew the law of attraction very, very intimately because I used to attract everything in my life. I knew it. But when I started attracting negative things in my life, I had to question life. And the answers that came were like, it transformed my life. All the answers you seek are within you. But you have to look within. Most people are looking for the answer outside. Your mind is not outside of you. It is everywhere, yes. Your mind can go everywhere, but it is your mind. It is inside you, right? You are a spiritual being living in a physical body and you have a powerful mind. That's your gift, the creator. How you use it is your gift to your creator. And I'm here to say to everyone that you need to honor your gift. You need to make your life count because the creator had faith in you. And if you don't live up to that faith that has been put in you, then how are you living up to your creator? Isn't it? So here he says most people. Okay, no, now he talks about one minute. My this thing went down. Okay. Moreover, just on the basis of what you have read up to this point, you have already far surpassed most other people with respect to your understanding of this important potential. So if you're here today, that shows, if you're listening to me or you're reading this book in any form, that shows that you have already gone way ahead of most people when it comes to you trying to understand this important potential. Because you know what? We'll never get it. We are infinite beings. You'll keep getting it. You'll keep growing. You'll keep becoming more powerful. And you want to become your highest version of yourself until you have this life and you don't even know how much time you have. That's the only thing we don't know. And we are living as if we have all the time in the world. Think, right? Okay, it would appear to be the case that the masses of people have always lived their lives in the past tense. That is to say, by virtue of holding on to old images, they have limited themselves to only half a life. Why are we doing that? And if you are doing that, you can change. Trust me, if there's one thing that doesn't stay the same, it is time. Your time can change the day you make a decision to change it. Indeed, even as far back as the turn of the century, William James, during the years 1842 to 1910, one of the world's most distinguished early psychologists, reached the conclusion the average individual was using only a small portion of his or her real potential, perhaps as little as 10%. See, so many generations before people did not know that. All right, so they could only pass to you what they knew, what they believed. But in the recent last, maybe we can say 50 to 100 years, things have started changing slowly but gradually, definitely moving towards a better world. And there have been not only psychologists but even scientists, even doctors. I tell you, what I'm teaching now is the language of so many doctors, because a lot of doctors are realizing now that they had been treating symptoms of problems and not the root cause. The root cause is found in the mind. And if we don't go to the root cause, even if we treat the symptoms, sooner or later the problem is going to come back. If we change it from here, we get results that stick. We heal. permanently, right? So now he says most people live in a, yeah, he considered this to be one of his most important psychological discoveries. And in this connection, he wrote, most people live, whether physically, intellectually, or morally, in a very restricted circle of their potential being. I look at that as a prison. I was literally in a prison of my own making, you know. And it was not, I wouldn't say it was my own making. I would say it was just passed down to me because the people who raised me did not know any better than that. And had a parent known that what he's thinking, what his beliefs are, is passing on to his children, no parent would do that purposely, right? I did that mistake and I took back control of my life. I'm like, how can I as a mother, like I'm responsible for my children's well being, right? Every mother is. Every parent is. So we want them to be happy, but if we are not living to our highest potential, that's all we can pass down to them, you see. If we are always sad and I don't know, living in the past and like your future is created today. It's still not come yet, but you can recreate it today. That much potential everyone has. So he says here they make use of a very small portion of their possible consciousness and of their soul's resources in general, much like a person who, out of their whole bodily organism, gets into the habit of using and moving only their little finger. Your physical body is one of the greatest gifts you've been given by the Almighty because that's what permits you to take action. But you know what we've done? We've restricted ourselves in so many ways. Like as if we're using only the little finger. What will happen to the rest of the body? We will not exercise any other part and we'll just stay stuck where we are because we are afraid to do things. We're afraid to take action. That's not living. That's just existing. And we don't want that. We want to live a full life. Why? Because for me as a mother, why I took back control of my life is because my children are watching me. So if I cannot live that adventurous life, how can my children do it? They will also just end up like me or maybe a little better. But this is why I feel it's my purpose to share this knowledge with you so that you understand that you too have the same power. It's in you. There's no need to go and look outside for it. It's in you. You just have to learn how to bring it to the surface. That's it. One might have expected that this modern, okay, we won't continue here because that's where I stopped in the other language that I read in. So I wish everyone a great day ahead and live your highest potential. Live that dynamite lifestyle that you're supposed to live. Be dynamic. You know, you're the highest form of creation. You can the, get to the grandest version of yourself as much as you can in this lifetime. Thank you, and I will see you on Thursday. Bye bye.